Marcus Aurelius famously observed, "You have power over your mind, not over external events." In a world where emotions can seem like raging waves, you will find power in this realization. How can we locate our mooring? To help us spread the Stoic philosophy, please like the video. If you haven't subscribed, I suggest doing so and activating the bell. Join us as we explore 7 Stoic lessons that hold the key to mastering your emotions and navigating life's storms with unwavering resolve to ensure you never miss a video. First lesson: recognize what you can control. Have you ever been caught in life's storms? Not the rainy, thunderous kind of unforeseen events, disappointments, or abrupt changes? In these storms, the Stoic thinkers of ancient Greece and Rome offer a message that feels like an anchor. The dichotomy of weather: imagine you're planning an outdoor event, and despite all your preparations, it rains. You have no control over the weather, no matter how much you'd like to, but your reaction to the weather is entirely up to you. You could complain and become frustrated, or you could adapt, perhaps moving the event indoors, or you could view the rain as a welcome change. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was born a slave and rose to become one of the most influential thinkers of his time, put it succinctly: some things are in our control and others are not. It sounds simple, but in this simplicity lies a profound wisdom that has the power to transform our lives. That very day we are faced with a myriad of situations, some of which we can influence, like our daily routines, the books we read, or the company we now. Here's where it gets interesting. The Stoics believe that our well-being depends not on external events, but rather on how we interpret and respond to them. Our emotions are caused by our judgment of the event, not by the event itself. Global events, other people's actions, time, and yes, the weather. When something goes wrong, it can feel like a disaster at the time. However, over time, it may turn out to be a blessing in disguise that allowed for personal growth or a better opportunity. How can we put this into practice? First, ask yourself if it's something I can control. If the answer is yes, then take action. If not, then use it as an opportunity to practice acceptance and adaptability. By fully grasping and internalizing this principle, we can free ourselves from needless suffering and navigate life with a sense of calm, knowing that even though we can't control the winds, we can adjust our sails in a world that frequently feels chaotic. This dichotomy of control is a beacon of clarity. It serves as a reminder to concentrate our efforts where they are most needed, to embrace serenity, and to accept the fact that some things are just out of our reach. Lesson number 2: reflect before reacting. In today's digital age, where immediacy is valued highly, the practice of reflection may seem archaic, but it can actually be our saving grace in a world where quick decisions are expected of us. Consider the numerous decisions we are faced with, both large and small. From picking a meal at a restaurant to deciding on a professional path, the range of options is huge, but it is not simply the size of these decisions that matter, but also how we approach them. Let's examine a typical situation. When you read a message that really gets to you, whether it's a coworker questioning your work or a friend making a casual comment, your first reaction might be defensiveness or anger. But what if you took a step back by giving yourself that momentary detachment? You're not suppressing your emotions. Instead, you're allowing them space to breathe and be understood. This reflection practice is about actively engaging with our thoughts and feelings and asking meaningful questions rather than passively accepting or avoiding them. What underlying beliefs or past experiences are driving my current emotions? Why did this comment hit me so deeply? Was it because of my instant reaction based on a current situation or baggage from the past? Additionally, reflection before reaction is a skill that promotes empathy, since it gives us time to think about other people's viewpoints. By reflecting, we open the door to understanding not only for ourselves, but also for people around us in relationships. This practice can be a cornerstone. Perhaps that colleague had a tough day, or that buddy didn't realize the gravity of their comments. The ability to pause and reflect is invaluable in professional settings. Think about how many misunderstandings could be avoided if we took the time to reflect before reacting. Imagine how many bridges could be built instead of burned. Clarity, compassion, and connection are found in these reflective moments. Decisions created from reflection frequently endure the test of time in a world that frequently feels like it's moving at a faster pace. Leaders who reflect before making decisions are frequently more respected and effective. At breakneck speed, reflecting before acting becomes more than just a habit. It's a quiet but powerful declaration that we won't be carried away by the currents of immediacy. It's a commitment to our own well-being and the caliber of our interactions with the outside world. It's a way of life that prioritizes meaningful connections over transient encounters, depth over breadth of understanding, and act above impulsive. Lesson number 3. Practice dispassion in a world that frequently feels like an emotional roller coaster. This is an inward journey with significant external repercussions that shape not just our answers, but the fundamental fabric of our lives. Although the concept of exercising dispassion may seem inappropriate, let's examine its actual meaning and the transformational potential it possesses. Dispassion is about developing a balanced viewpoint and remaining calm in the face of adversity, not about repressing feelings or losing interest in the world around us. Imagine not being overcome by your own emotions while you watch events, situations, or even yourself. The essence of practicing dispassion is being deeply engaged with life and feeling its many emotions, but also knowing when to remain seated in the theater of your mind, observing without getting lost in the drama. Consider the last time you watched a compelling movie. There were moments of tension, excitement, maybe even sadness while you were engaged in the story. However, a part of you always knew it was just a movie. You didn't rush to help the hero or console the crying character you observed you felt. You just remained in your seat. Every day, we are inundated with news updates and notifications, making this approach a lifeline in the modern era of information overload. Dispassion serves as a buffer, allowing us to interact with the world in a more sustainable and balanced way. We've all been in situations where conversations get heated and disagreements arise. Reacting passionately to every piece of information would leave us perpetually exhausted. Being dispassionate helps us listen more intently, respond instead of reacting, and handle disagreement with grace and understanding. It can make the difference between a fruitful conversation and a destructive debate. To cultivate dispassion, one must first become self-aware. This involves routinely checking in with oneself, recognizing our emotional triggers, and understanding our patterns. This creates a space between stimulus and response, where one is free to choose their reactions and act on purpose rather than on impulse. Dispassion really improves life's joys and pleasures because it allows us to fully immerse ourselves in the trip and enjoy each moment without worrying about loss or change, despite the fact that it may sound like detachment from life's joys and pleasures. Finding balance in a constantly changing world is the goal of practicing dispassion. It is a compass that leads to inner peace, which leads us with grace through all of life's many terrains. Adopting this practice allows us to improve not only our own lives, but also the lives of those around us by bringing clarity and serenity. In the 4th lesson, consider whether something will still matter in 5 years. From tiny annoyances like a spilled coffee to bigger problems like arguments with loved ones, life is full with moments that test our endurance, forbearance, and perspective. A variety of emotions are evoked by various situations that occur during our days. It's simple to get swept away by the immediacy of our feelings while we're in the heat of the moment. One insightful question can change our perspective and provide power. Will this matter in 5 years? A missed deadline, a harsh remark, or a forgotten anniversary can feel like the end of the world. This straightforward yet insightful question acts as a mental time machine, taking us to the future and allowing us to look back on the present. Suddenly, that contentious disagreement or that wasted opportunity is seen in a different perspective most of the time. Consider the challenges and worries you faced 5 years ago. How many of them still matter today, and how many have been eclipsed by fresh experiences? We worry about things that will be forgotten footnotes in the epic story of our lives. Recollections and insights, this insight can be freeing as well as humbling. A bad day at work might seem overwhelming at the moment, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just one day in a career that spans decades. Using this question as a regular touchstone helps us prioritize our concerns and distinguish between short-term setbacks and long-term implications. For instance, in the face of hardship, this perspective also encourages fortitude. Instead of becoming mired down by the issue at hand, we may strategize, adapt, and move on knowing that time frequently provides clarity and solutions. However, it's not just about reducing our concerns. Reminding ourselves of the wider picture can reduce anxiety and boost problem solving. In a world that frequently prioritizes material possessions, this question also pushes us to focus on what really matters if we want our actions and decisions to have lasting importance. By periodically re-examining the question, now, will this matter in 5 years? We may handle life's ups and downs with grace and make sure that our focus and energy are focused on what really matters. This question serves as a beacon leading us towards a life of purpose, perspective, and peace. The fifth lesson: maintain a Stoic journal. Journaling has been valued throughout history and literature not only as a way to document events, but also as a means of introspection, growth, and clarity. Stoics, with their focus on self-awareness and personal improvement, are known for this practice. We were accustomed to this practice. A Stoic journal is more than just a record of everyday events. It's a space for introspection, self-discussion, and analysis of feelings, decisions, and reactions. Events are evaluated in light of personal values and beliefs at this intersection of the external and internal worlds. By analyzing our days, we begin to understand the patterns of our psyche, the triggers that affect our mood, the values that guide our decisions, and the habits that shape our days. Imagine concluding your day by narrating not only what happened, but also how you responded. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius kept a journal that is now called a meditation. It wasn't intended for publication. Rather, it was a space for him to guide himself, remind himself of Stoic principles, and navigate the challenges of his life with wisdom through his writings. You don't need to be an emperor to benefit from a Stoic journal. In our modern lives, which are full of distractions and an endless stream of information, making time for introspection becomes even more important. Over time, this practice can lead to profound insights. We see a man struggling with his responsibilities, emotions, and place in the universe. You may find that certain activities, like gratitude or mindfulness, raise your mood and outlook. You may see that certain events generate stress frequently, pushing you to either address them or adjust your perspective. The patterns that emerge can serve as a roadmap for personal growth. A Stoic journal that goes beyond insights encourages accountability by committing to daily reflection, or we hold ourselves responsible for our reactions and decisions. In essence, keeping a Stoic journal is like having a wise, non-judgmental friend by your side who is always willing to listen, reflect, and guide you toward personal growth. It is a commitment to personal growth, to better understanding oneself, and to living a life that is in line with your values and principles. The sixth lesson: consider challenges as opportunities in the world, rife with obstacles. From personal setbacks to global upheavals, obstacles are an inherent part of the human experience. However, what if we saw these obstacles as opportunities disguised as burdens? Stoics hold a powerful perspective on adversity, holding that while we cannot always control the events that befall us, we can control our interpretation and response to them. Challenges become great lessons as a result of this change in perspective. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, said something that perfectly captures this concept. The obstacle that prevents action promotes action. What obstructs the path becomes the path. This implies that each barrier and each difficulty can, if we decide to view it as an opportunity for growth, it will propel us ahead. Imagine a river that comes across a boulder in its path. Instead of stopping, the water finds a way around the boulder by either eroding it over time or by carving a new path. Boulder's seeming impediment turns into a catalyst for transformation, modifying the river's path. In the same vein, challenges in our lives can change our course and lead us to unexpected places. For instance, a job loss that seems terrible at first may really lead to a new professional path. A failed relationship may open the door for personal growth if it presents an opportunity to start a business or even to upskill. Self-realization and a more profound, meaningful connections in the future. This Stoic perspective also promotes resilience. When we start seeing challenges as opportunities, we become more adaptive and willing to endure hardship. We begin by asking what I can learn from this and how this experience can shape me for the better, rather than asking why this is happening to me. This does not imply that we should overlook real adversity or look for new challenges. Recognizing that any obstacle may present an opportunity is key. We can turn challenges into stepping stones that lead us toward growth by cultivating this seed with a positive perspective, patience, and perseverance. Knowledge and contentment. The seventh lesson is to practice gratitude. Gratitude is a feeling that can come on naturally, but it also weaves moments of joy, happiness, and perspective into our lives. In order to anchor oneself in the present and recognize life's blessings, the Stoics advocated the conscious practice of gratitude. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's about recognizing the beauty in the ordinary, the lessons and challenges, and the transient character of each experience, which makes it all the more valuable. Seneca, a well-known Stoic philosopher, once stated that the key to true happiness is to live in the present moment without worrying about the future. This captures the core of gratitude,